So yeah, my name is John Muller, and I work in the annuity business unit for Lincoln Financial Company. And I'm based in the Greensboro office. And I joined Lincoln in May 2018. I have a bachelor's degree in mathematics, and I'm also an ASA. And the reason I joined Lincoln was because of the people and the opportunities that Lincoln has. And I'll show some of the areas that someone when they join Lincoln, they can work. And so I did my internship with Lincoln, and just being able to see all those opportunities and being able to just interact with the different people. They're so friendly, they were helping like get up to speed in terms of work, and also just moving to Greensboro, I didn't know anyone. So for the first time that I was in a new city, everyone was so friendly. And so that convinced me to join Lincoln as a full-time employee. And so this is our agenda for today. Then, so who is Lincoln? So Lincoln was formed by two employees. And so let me play the video and then we can talk about that after. I hope this works. Can you see the video? And how's the audio?
No audio coming through on the video.
Let me.
Came together to create a life insurance leaders in Fort Wayne. In 1905, a group of business leaders in Fort Wayne, Indiana, came together to create a life insurance company based on dependability, honesty, and service. More than a century later, Lincoln Financial Group is still turning challenges into new opportunities for growth and protection for Americans. Our company was founded with the endorsement of Abraham Lincoln's son, Robert Todd Lincoln, who provided written permission to use his father's name and likeness to represent our lofty goals and mission. Since that first day of operation, we've embraced Abraham Lincoln's defining traits: strength, courage, integrity, optimism, and respect as our brand character. We also advanced President Lincoln's inclusive vision and values as an essential part of our company mission. Today, Lincoln Financial Group is a well-recognized family of companies committed to excellence and integrity in everything we do. We work together with financial professionals, employers, and organizations to help individuals and families confidently plan their financial futures and protect their loved ones. Being a visible and engaged part of the community is critical to our success. We embarked on our naming rights partnership with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2002. Lincoln Financial is also the presenting sponsor of the Eagles Autism Challenge, an annual one-day bike ride and family-friendly 5K run and walk at Lincoln Financial Field. Through this event, we've helped raise over $6 million for autism support and research. By following the ideals of Abraham Lincoln, we've built an honest and dependable financial services company dedicated to helping all Americans secure better, more optimistic futures for themselves and their loved ones. This is our legacy and the heart of our brand.
So you heard something about Lincoln. So let's go ahead and continue. In terms of now the company, what do we offer? So these are the 4 different types of products or business units that Lincoln has. So there's life insurance, there's annuities. And so life insurance, think about your term products, whole life product. For annuities, think about the fixed annuities, variable annuities. And then it's a way during retirement to be able to draw some income while in retirement. And then we have the retirement plan services. So like here, think about your 401ks, and then group protection. Here, think about the employee benefits like dental, vision. And so among those business units, there's so many other functions that as an employee, you can be assigned to one of those different roles and functions. And at the bottom of the screen, you have some key facts about Lincoln. Next is our key locations. So you can see on the map some of the locations that we have our employees. So like I mentioned, I'm based in Greensboro, North Carolina. That's one of the key locations. Omaha, that's another one where there's a lot of employees or actuaries. And then Fort Wayne and Boston, the other location where there's a huge number of actuaries. And then on the map, there's other field offices. So when you're part of the Team Lincoln, you're not just focused on work. There's much more. So Lincoln supports us giving back to the community. And here's some of the examples where our employees are given back. And Lincoln will reward you for doing that. So you can get up to 8 hours of PTO. That's like a full day of like time off. And so yeah, you get to give back and at the same time get ready for it. So that's something that you can also enjoy as being part of Team Lincoln. And then another reason that I like being part of Team Lincoln is, as a company, they do support diversity and inclusion. Like I feel as an employee, Lincoln cares about me. I feel included whenever we have team meetings or meet with our employees. And Lincoln has been recognized for that. So on the screen, you can see some of the recognition that Lincoln has received, and also some of the other ways someone can be involved as an employee. So there is BRGs, like business resource groups, that you can join. And also being part of, so after the George Floyd protest, there's been a lot of like changes within the company to be able to get more minorities like promoted or being involved more. So that's another thing as well. And then let's talk about the actuarial journey. So someone will come in as part of the internship program, and that program feeds to the ADP for like full-time positions. But as an intern, you get to do some meaningful work. So when you come in, it's around 8 to 10 weeks program. And then you can work either in pricing or product development. You can do valuation, asset liability management, or financial planning and analysis. And then you can also choose, the last 2 summers, the internship has been virtual, but when it was in person, some of the key locations that someone could be assigned were Fort Wayne, Atlanta, Greensboro, Boston. So any of those, the location that you can choose to be assigned to. And then once your internship is over, you can get either an offer to attend as an intern, or you can get an offer for a full-time if you do a good job. And then some of the benefits of being a full-time in the ADP program is actuarial exam support. You also get a lot of study time. So and you're being paid to be able to study. So that's another thing as well. And then every exam you pass, you get a pay increase. And then Lincoln pays for the exam material. So there's so much that if you're part of the program, you get to benefit, including just networking with senior leaders and other people within the program. And also the thing too, before COVID, and even now, if you want to relocate from one location to another, Lincoln supports that as well. And then on the screen, we have 3 interns who share their stories. So from Bobby, you can see that he worked on this automation project that got to be used by the senior management. So the work that interns do, it's meaningful work that has like business impact. Same thing with Justin. he worked on this Excel, improving an Excel, like manual Excel tool. And that same thing was used by the team to be able to improve how the team functions. And then Alyssa was an intern and then now a full-time employee. So she worked on a project that, so the LDTI, the long duration targeted improvement, that's like a new regulation that will be going to effect January next year. And everyone has been trying to improve, make sure they comply with that regulation. So Alyssa worked on that. And that's something that you're not getting something that just doesn't have any impact. You're getting even the big projects that will have a big impact on the company. And now she's full-time in the company. And some of the things that she learned, like using Alpha, we use that tool. And so she was able to get some skill that she can also use when she's full-time. And then, so next year, this is kind of the roadmap from application to the ones who get selected and what you'll be working on and what you can expect to learn from the program. So typically the application is June to September, but even now we're still accepting applications and interviews. Like later today, we'll have the career fair. So if you have some time, make sure to come to our booth and we'll share some of the opportunities that we do have. And then some of the requirements is to be a college sophomore or junior, have a GPA of 3.0 and higher. And then you can some of the list of the requirements. And then having one exam is preferred, not required, just preferred. So if you don't have an exam, still come by the booth. And then interviews are still ongoing. And then, like I mentioned earlier, when you participate in the program, you get to add value to the organization because you're working on meaningful projects. And then you acquire knowledge that you can use during the internship or even when you become full-time. And then you also get to work on multiple products. So you can get to expand your product knowledge and also be able to get some skills that are transferable, you can use even in future roles. And then the ones who get offers for the full-time, like I mentioned earlier, these are some of the benefits that you get. You get up to 175 hours to study. That's a lot of hours. And then also there's flexibility in how you manage your work and exams. So the managers will try to work with you, balance your workload and also exams. And then the hours also you get to allocate them however you want. You can choose to do, most people choose to do like 2 hours a day. And then so that you can at least make some progress over time, then trying to take them all at once. So you get to manage how you use that as well. And then there's additional support if you need, like there's monthly mentorship with your site leaders or your manager if you need one. And then also you also get a peer mentor and you can meet bi-weekly or how often you prefer. And that's not required, it's if you want the support. And then the financial reward, like I mentioned earlier, that Lincoln pays for the exam fees. And most of they're very expensive. And then same thing with the study material. And then if you need to do an online course or attend a seminar, which most of the time, Lincoln will pay for that as well. And then the day of the exam, we take that day off and it's paid. So that's one of the benefits as well. You don't get to use your PTO days for that. And then if you pass an exam, you get a pay bump. And then our exam, because of that support, we've seen Lincoln has a higher pass rate than the industry average. And I think too, based on where the industry is moving towards more predictive analytics, so Lincoln has partnered with SOA to be able to train the employees, because remember, not all the employees are taking the exams. Some are already ASA or FSA. So because P exam is only for those who are taking the exams, Lincoln partnered with the SOA to come and train all the employees all the actuarial employees. So from 2020, so there's a 2-year commitment to be able to do that. And the ones who want, they can take the exam and get the certification. Then, so yeah, would like to keep the conversation going. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And you can also scan the QR code to be able to see the different opportunities that we do have. Any questions? So this is just, like I mentioned earlier, some of the leadership commitment and employee involvement with diversity and inclusion, which is something personally, it's dear to my heart. I want to make sure that I give back as well, make sure we, among, like one of the missions for the IABA is to increase awareness of the profession. So this is something that I want to give back. Yeah, go ahead, John.
What does life look like during like the first few months or first year, like for someone who's joining as a full-time employee?
That's a good question. So now, if the ones who say like the last 2 years, maybe they might give a different perspective because they joined virtually during COVID. But when I joined, it was in 2018, and people were so friendly and just they welcomed me on board. So I was able to, they showed me around whenever there's lunch, like you go to group lunch together with other ADPs or other people taking the exams. So you get to hear their stories about what's going on in their lives and what's going on at work as well. And whenever there's exam, there are few people taking the same exam as you. So you're able to either discuss, either formally or just like informally, how's the exam studying going? How's the progress? So the first year, maybe the first few months, you're trying to adjust to the corporate world. And at the same time, the managers and fellow employees, they do understand that it's not easy transition for someone coming from college or doing a job switch. So in terms of work, you don't get as much pressure. We try to train you and get you up to speed. There's a lot of like documentation or training videos that you get to watch to be able to learn about the work. It's almost like we assume you don't know anything and we just like train you from scratch and then let you just ask as much questions as you want. And it takes some time, almost like 6 months to a year before you feel like you really know what you're doing. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? So something that was just like a pledge that, yeah, we as Lincoln employees shared on our social media platforms, and even like they encourage that to be able to be during work, you can feel that you're being included in conversations. You're being included in whatever the company is doing. And then earlier mentioned about some of the stuff we offer. So another thing is dress for your day. So now we know with COVID, people are working from home. You can dress however you want. But even before then, Lincoln had a policy for dress your day. You could come to office with jeans every day, not just like on Fridays. So as long as like it's something that it's decent and professional, yeah, they're okay with that. So that was even way before COVID. And then something that is wellness incentives to make sure they take care of your health and your well-being for health, finances, and personal lives. Another question. We have a few minutes, like 3 minutes left. And then just some of our partners and different partnerships that Lincoln has had over the years. If no other question, oh, go ahead, Adrian.
Hi, good morning. My question is, do you guys have any offices in Canada, or are you just based in the US?
So we're just based in the US, but nowadays and are you asking for the internship or just full-time position? Or
I guess
both?
both.
Yeah, for the internship, the last 2 years, being they were virtual, that wasn't an issue as much or consideration. And now, given there's some flexibility in terms of remote work, so I think, yeah, that's something that Lincoln also considered as well. Although we are based in the US, but that's something that, yeah, the HR can be able to do case by case. But at this point, we just work in the US. Yeah, so I can really comment whether they're able to let you work from Canada, or will you be required to work anywhere within the US? Because like now we're working from anywhere. People are all over the US. But yeah, there are a few people who, yeah, maybe they could have moved, but yeah, we're just in the US. Yeah, you're welcome. And then I think there was another hand.
Yeah, it was me, Doris.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry because I'm on CST time. So I have problem here to figure out. I didn't know that I was thinking it was my time. So the question I have is like, I want to know if you give the opportunity for like a new graduate student without professional exam to start like an entry level like actuarial analyst, or do you have position open for someone who just graduate and who want to start the journey while preparing for taking the exam?
Yeah, and yeah, thank you for that. That's a good question. And yeah, I think that's one challenge where being on different time zones, that could be a challenge. And that's understandable. So for the exam, so like now for the internship, like nowadays the preference is to do an internship first, which can become full-time. And so that's something you can come to the booth and still give us your resume. But yeah, Lincoln is open to, if you show like you're qualified, all these different qualifications, and you don't have an exam, there's an opportunity to give you like an internship. And then if you do well, it can become full-time. But that's same thing, it just, yeah, depending on your other transferable skills as well.
Okay, so if I understand very well, so for someone who already graduate, that person could apply like for an internship first.
You can apply, yes. So the preference, it's more like I mentioned earlier on the presentation, for people who are in college, either sophomore or junior.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the majority of the people who get the internship opportunities. But if you're already like graduated, you can still apply, and yeah, come talk to us, give us your resume, and then we can, yeah, go from there. We will be on the booth as well, the virtual career fair from 12. So you can come by the booth and then, yeah, give us your resume.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, I think we're 1 minute past time, but yeah, thank you so much for your questions, and yeah, hoping you all have a good day, and then hoping to see some of you at the career fair.